Hi everybody, very good morning. Once again, Puneet Khanna back to my channel, Puneet Mohan Khanna, or I should say Free IELTS and American Free IELTS. So just here I would like to share my session. So could you please just come online? So I would just like to request everybody to please come online so that we can have this session. So kindly subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed it. So today we are having this session and I hope you will be enjoying this session very much. Just within 2-3 minutes I'm gonna start this session. Okay guys, so very good morning once again. So today we people are having a very good topic in front of me, and that is the fish pie production line. So you can just have a look over here online. And if I talk about this diagram, then I would say that this is about the process chart, and we are going to solve it. And I'll be giving you some of the tips, like what are the tips that what you can use and how you can make your writing so impressive. Okay, so first of all you need to paraphrase the introduction. You can just have a look in the introduction. The introduction is talking about the diagrams, give information about the manufacture of frozen fish. Okay, so you can just simply have a look. So just you need to paraphrase. You can simply say the assigned. Okay, you can simply say the assigned, or you can use some of the words like the assigned, or you can use some of the word provided, or you can say rendered. Okay, so the assigned, provided, rendered, illustration. You can use the word for diagram, illustration. Okay, clear? So it is a noun. So the assigned, provided, rendered, illustration, details. Okay, details how frozen fish pies are manufactured. Okay, you can also use the word produced. Okay, you can also use the word produced, and that is a very good synonym. Clear? So this is a proper introduction. So again I'm repeating it again. The sign, provided, rendered, illustration details how frozen fish pies are manufactured or produced. Okay, clear everybody? So you can just simply use these lines. Okay, keep in your mind about all these things. So when we'll be using this thing, so you can just keep this thing in your mind. Okay guys, clear? So after that, if I talk about this session, then I can simply say to you, now you can just simply go for the introduction. Now you can simply go for the introduction. Sorry, overview. Then you can just simply remember this thing, that whenever you are going to write down the process chart, so you need to at least mention 150 words. So majority of students are having the same issue, so they are unable to showcase this thing. So I'm just telling you that thing, that you should use a line looking from an overall perspective. Okay, looking from an overall perspective, it is readily apparent that, looking from an overall perspective, it is readily apparent. Okay, it is readily apparent that there are various prime stages. There are various prime stages. You can just have a look on the spellings errors also. There are various prime stages of manufacturing frozen fish pies. Okay, so looking from the overall perspective, it is readily apparent that there are various prime stages of manufacturing frozen fish pies. Okay, the initial stage commences with, you can just simply see, the initial stage commences. Okay guys, because you're talking about singular thing, so you should use it. So the initial stage commences with simply you can say like there are two stages. You can just first of all study on one side there are potatoes which are used, on the other side there are fresh salmon, so you can just accordingly make these things. Okay, so you can simply say that looking from the overall perspective, it is readily apparent that there are prime stages of manufacturing frozen fish pies. Okay, or you can simply say that this process is divided into two stages. Okay, this process divided into two stages. On one side, fresh potatoes are added, and other side on the other side, fresh salmon is mixed. Okay, you can use the word mix, no need to use the word added again. Okay, so fresh salmon is mixed. Okay, so you can simply start like this. I've just deducted some of the lines over here, you can just have a look. The initial stage commences with adding potatoes and fish, or you can say simple salmon, in different stages. Okay, the initial stage commences with adding potatoes and salmon in different stages, which follow numerous stages okay, which follow numerous stages, and finally winds up, or I should say, because it's two stages, wind up at you can just have a look, that is freezing and storing, dispatching. Okay, clear everybody? So you can just have a look. So this is the final stage of this, so I'm just going towards the final stage. Just hold on. Okay, finally wind up at packaging of the end product. Okay guys, clear? So here we can simply start the process. Okay, the process begins at you can simply say by delivering fresh potatoes. The process begins by delivering fresh potatoes on one side. Okay, here, okay, potatoes, the process begins by delivering fresh potatoes on one side. Here in the second step, these are washed properly. Okay, clear? Followed by this in the subsequent stage, sequence stage, These potatoes are peeled. Okay, so you just need to use the passive voice over here. You must be having the good knowledge of the passive voice. The process begins by delivering fresh potatoes on one side. Here in the second step, these are washed properly, followed by this. In the subsequent stage, these potatoes are peeled and sliced later on. Okay, sliced later on. No need to say slices, sorry, sliced later on. Okay, after the accomplishment of this stage, after the accomplishment of this stage, okay, potatoes are boiled. Potatoes are boiled and later on these are chilled to send to its next step of storing. Okay, to the send to its next step of storing. So this is your first paragraph. Okay, then you can simply say on the other hand, you can simply say on the other hand, fresh salmon is caught. Clear? Okay, so you can just simply say fresh salmon is delivered from the by the lorries and within 12 hours. Okay, on the other hand, fresh salmon is caught from the sea. Okay, within 12 hours of catching. Within 12 hours of catching, it is processed by cutting. It is processed by cutting. Okay, so it is processed by cutting and spreading the lemon juice. It is processed by cutting, or you can say, yeah, it is processed by cutting and later on lemon juice is added on it. Okay, you can simply say lemon juice is added on it and later on salt is sprinkled. You can use the word sprinkled for the salt. Salt is sprinkled. Later on salt is sprinkled to give it some taste. Okay everybody, so give it some taste. Then in the following step, or you can say in the next stage, this I would say this fish are I would say remove the skin and bones of the actually steamed. Sorry, in the next stage, these fish are steamed in an oven and later on its bones and skin is removed. Sorry, bones and skin are removed. Okay, everybody, so bones and skin are removed. Extremely Roman, and later on its bones and skin are removed. Okay, so the next step is of inspection. You can just have a look over here. After removing the skin and bone, the next step is of inspection. So it's up to you that whether you can make the active sentence also, whether you can make the passive sentence also, but it is recommended that you should be making active. Or if you have made already so many passive, that you should be making some active sentences. So you can say that in the next day these fish are steamed in an oven, and later on its bone and skin are removed. Okay, afterwards the inspector checks the quality of the salmon, checks the quality of the salmon. Okay, and in the later stage, in the next stage, in the or you can say in the next stage, uh, prepared peas are added with salmon. Okay, to prepared peas are added with salmon, and prepared peas are added with salmon simultaneously. You can simply say simultaneously prepared sauce is also added. Okay, so prepared sauce is also added, and after all that, finally you can say that the stored, clear, you can simply say after the accomplishment of this process, after the accomplishment of this process, stored potatoes are finally mixed with salmon. Stored potatoes are finally mixed with salmon, which later on wrapped by an employee. You can simply say, clear. So after the accomplishment of this process, stored potatoes are finally mixed with salmon. Finally, if you have written already finally, then you need not to say finally. You can simply say ultimately. Uh, this end product is wrapped by a worker. Okay, this end product is wrapped by a worker, and it is sent for freezing. Okay, everybody, you can just have a look. It is sent for freezing over here on the conveyor belt. You can simply say conveyor belt for freezing by the conveyor belt. Okay, for freezing by the conveyor belt. At last, this product is transported to the retail stores and supermarket for human consumptions. Supermarket for human consumption. Okay guys, so this is the topic that I have taught you. So I hope you have enjoyed this session really. So just have a look of the topic once again. So I would like to recommend you that you must be having 150 words of this topic. Okay, so the assigned, provided, rendered, illustration, you can just use any single word. Details how frozen fish pies are manufactured or produced. Okay, looking from an overall perspective, it is readily apparent that this process is divided into two stages. On one side, fresh potatoes are added, and on the other side, fresh salmon is mixed. The initial stage commences with adding potatoes and salmon in different stages, in different levels. You can simply say, no need to say stages. Okay, levels which follow numerous stages and finally wind up at packaging. Finally, this process winds up. Just a minute everybody, just a minute. Yeah, welcome back everybody. So finally this process is, you can simply say, so we were over here, finally wind up at, because we are talking about the two processes, so we cannot use the singular verb over here, so we can simply say wind up at, which follow numerous stages and finally wind up at packaging of the end product. The process begins by delivering fresh potatoes on one side. Here in the second step, these are washed properly, followed by this. In the subsequent stage, these potatoes are peeled and sliced later on. After the accomplishment of this stage, potatoes are boiled and later on these are chilled to send to its next step of storing. On the other hand, fresh salmon is caught from the sea. Okay guys, within 12 hours of catching, it is processed by cutting and later on lemon juice is added on it, and later on, no need to say later on we have added over there, followed by, or you can say that processed by adding and later on lemon juice is added on it, or you can simply say later lemon juice and salt is sprinkled. Lemon juice and salt is sprinkled to give it some taste. In the next stage, these fish are steamed. We cannot use the fishes. Okay guys, just remember this thing. So we can also use over here salmon. In the next stage, salmon is steamed in an oven. Okay, if you are having some doubt, you can just simply remove it. You can simply say salmon. Salmon is steamed in an oven, and later on its bones and skin are removed. Afterwards, the inspector checks the quality of the salmon, so you need to put the capital letters for the salmon because it's a proper noun. In the next stage, prepared pizza added with salmon. Okay, simultaneously prepared sauce is also added. After the accomplishment, after the fulfillment, okay, I think we have used the word accomplishment over here, so we can use simply fulfillment. Okay, after the fulfillment. Okay, after the fulfillment of this process, stored potatoes are finally mixed with salmon. Ultimately, this end product is wrapped by a worker and it is sent for freezing by the conveyor belt. At last, this product is transported to the retail stores and global market for human consumption. So this is your topic. So I hope you people all have enjoyed this topic. Thank you everybody for all this.